Hey everybody, have you ever wondered, like I have over the years, if it's possible to take an ultralight pack under 10 pounds, not only have it on your back and being comfortable when you're hiking, but to have what's inside that pack load to be comfortable when you take that pack off your back after a long day of hiking when you get to camp. Now for months now, I've been researching gear that's not only lightweight, but also very functional. Not for an overnighter, but for a multiple day on a hiking trip. Now I'd like to share with you the gear that I took with me, pack weight under 10 pounds, besides food, water, and fuel, for a week-long trip on the Centennial Trail in the Black Hills of South Dakota. Not only was this pack comfortable on my back, even in the rain, but also at camp with temperatures near freezing. Now, I'm not saying that you should have your pack load under 10 pounds. Absolutely not. But I'm hoping in this episode that I can show you some tricks and some tips and some lightweight gear that is very functional. They'll help you lighten your load and also save your back. Now, the first thing I like to share with you is the pack that I use. It's a Light AF 35 liter curve. It also has a front stretchy pocket, which is really great, side pockets, and also I have pockets on my straps, my shoulder straps, and these little side pockets here. And this pack, the total weight of it is 19 ounces, which is 538 grams. And first, I want to show you what I had in the front pouch. First thing I have on top is my rain jacket, ready to go just in case it rains. And this is from Z-Pack. The Virtus weighs 6 ounces, 188 grams. Now the next thing I had readily available was not rain pants, but a rain kilt. I've had this thing for, probably 5 years. And this is from Z-Pack. It's made out of Dyneema. And this thing was a game changer for me, you guys. It only weighed 2 ounces, 55 grams. And what's really nice with this, it has a zipper on the bottom so I can adjust it for my stride when I'm hiking. Now this only covered from the top of my knees and above, and that's what I really needed because I'm going to cross streams and I didn't mind my bottom of my pants getting wet. And this thing really shined, and I'm glad I brought it, and this is going to be in my arsenal, my pack, from now on. Very lightweight and very effective. And the next thing I have in my pack is my ditty bag, and this is from All Men's Right. And what's nice about this little pack, it's easy to open. It has a little toggle on there. You can just go whoop, whoop. And inside there, I had earplugs. I always bring earplugs just in case. And I have my little temperature gauge so I know what the temperature is and I can report it to you guys. And one thing, you always lose the caps for your water bottle, and I always bring a spare cap just in case. And that's all I brought in here. I had a lot of other things I was going to bring to lighten the load, but I really didn't need it. This is all I needed. And I never used the earplugs, but I used the temperature gauge and the cap. I didn't lose my cap. Cool little bag. With the pack and everything in here, weighed 1 ounce, 30 grams. The next piece of gear I had in here was my water filtration system. This weighed 6 ounces, 176 grams. I have a knock bag, which I really love. It has the wide open bottom to easily scoop water in. And the filter I had is from Platypus. It's a quick draw. This water filter failed me. It was defective. And you guys, I will never trust Platypus again because I could have been in serious trouble if I was by myself. It was my fault. I should have tested before. The bottom has glue in there, so it does not work. And I got it from REI on sale, and shame on you for selling this. Someone probably brought it back, he put it in stock and sold it on sale. So I'm really disappointed in those two companies. That's why I'd like to buy from cottage companies. I don't like the box companies. They don't give the service like cottage company. And I'm telling you guys, I was mad. This could have destroyed my trip. From now on, I'll always stay with the Sawyer squeeze. Always dependable, never have to worry about it. Piece of junk. Bye. Now the next piece of gear I had in the front pocket was my poop pouch. Poop emoji smiling. I love this little pack. And inside, you guys, I bring a lot of toilet paper because my bottom is airy down there, and I'm not gonna bring one slice of toilet paper like those ultralight gram weenies. Never shake a hand of a gram weenie on the trail. I bring a lot of toilet paper just in case. I bring one wet wipe for every day that I'm on the trip. And my trowel is an Apex Giant Dirt Diggler, very lightweight. You know, you guys, I brought a bidet, and you guys overseas in European countries, I'm not talented enough to use this. I gotta practice on it. This could be something that would be, I think would be very useful in the future. And also I brought these little tabs that you put in the water and they expand for washing or wiping yourself down. Then I had this pill bottle full of powder soap that I use to wash myself up. But on the side of it, I have Leuco tape on there, wrapped around there, so when I need it, it's tightly on there, and it's really easy to get on and off. So I have all this together in my poop pouch. Now the next thing I had in the front mesh pocket were my hammock suspension. And these are whoopee slings with Kevlar tree huggers on the end. Weigh 3 ounces, 98 grams, and these are very strong, very effective. Next piece of gear I had was a bug net, 11 grams, didn't need it because the temperatures were cold, no bugs. And this pack, you guys, it only has shoulder straps. It does not have a waist belt. But when you go to resupply, you're gonna carry extra water. I brought these waist belt that I can hook on here, take on and off. They only weigh 2 ounces, 64 grams. Now one thing everyone should have is a first aid kit. 4 ounces, 110 grams, and I'll do a separate video on what's inside here. And the next piece of gear I had with me was my tooth care kit. Now this is 1 ounce and also 30 grams. And what I use is little toothpaste tabs. I bring dental floss, and I got a toothbrush, a soft toothbrush that I cut in half and I put in a little baggie. Cool little bag. And another piece of gear I brought was this dog bowl that folds open to put water in, so I can go down the stream and get water and bring it back to camp and wash my face, wash up. And this is really nice, and it weighs hardly anything. It just weighs 9 grams only. And I also brought a wallet with me. This was 30 grams, a little under an ounce. And inside I had some cash, credit cards, my driver's license. Kept it nice and dry. Now the last 3 pieces of gear are luxury items, and I wanted to bring them to test out and to see how they work. And I'll do a separate video on these 3, but the first one are camp shoes. These are from Mayfly. They're 2 ounces, 64 grams, and these were nice to have to air out the feet. And I used them a few times, but they're real slippery with the pine needles, cruising around, walking around, and one time I almost slipped. Now the chair I brought is just a strap chair. It's just a piece of ultralight strap that you sit down and put behind your back and your knees, and you cross your legs, and it holds your back up. And this weighed 2 ounces, 74 grams. Now the saw I brought is a micro saw. It only weighed 21 grams. And like I said, I'll do a separate video on all these 3 to show how, if they're worth bringing or not, effective or not. Then on top I have my Thermarest sit pad. And this weighs 2 ounces, 62 grams. And this was nice to sit on, but also I had it in my top quilt in the foot box because I had a 3/4 length under quilt, and the temperature's getting down around freezing temperatures. I could put this in there and put my feet on top of there, and it kept me nice and warm. Now in the side pocket, I had my tarp in there. Now this is a Hammock Gear hex tarp made out of Dyneema fabric, and it weighed 5.5 ounces, 155 grams. And inside the bag, let alone my tarp, which is in a snake skin. I had a ridgeline with stingers and zingets on there. Repair kit. And then I have this stake bag with 4 stakes, and I have 6 Zing-It with loops on the end and that I use for guidelines. Now with the tarp with the snake skin on it, the Dyneema bag that it was stored in, I have that stake bag, 4 stakes, and the cordage came to 9 ounces, 273 grams. Now that's pretty light. Now on the other side pocket, I had a 1 liter water bottle. And you guys, when I was hiking, this was pretty much empty because water was readily available everywhere. But before we got to camp and came to a stream, I'd fill this up and then I'd put it in there and carry it. And on the shoulder straps, there's pockets. I had a 750 milliliter water bottle with a cap that folds open, and then I can snap closed. And like I said earlier, on the side, there's 2 little mesh pockets on each side. I could put my hammock suspension on one side and my little stake bag on the other. And also, I didn't mention, there's a pocket on the bottom here. I could put little snacks or maybe even a tripod, whatever you want on there. And that's a little handy to use, but I never used it, but maybe in the future. But you guys, let's go to the main compartment. Got a roll top, unsnap this. On top I had my food bag. I'll do a separate video on what I took for food, but what I had in there was my cook kit. Now my cook kit weighed 3.5 ounces, 111 grams, and what I had inside, and that's without fuel though. Now the little pot I had is a Toaks 550, and inside I brought a little hanky to dry things out, and the stove that I used was a BRS, and this thing only weighs 26 grams, this tiny little stove. Brought a lighter, mini Bic lighter, and also on this trip, the pot I had did not have handles, so I had this little carbon pot lifter. A little pot holder lifter weighed only 4 grams. And then inside I had the fuel. And then all this nestles inside this 550 Toaks. A little pot holder, stove, lighter. Next, I had my electronic bag. It weighed 9 ounces, 262 grams. And inside, I had my NU25UL rechargeable headlight. And then the power bank I had was from Nightcore also, and that's a NB10000 for charging headlight and camera. And this is super lightweight, only 5 ounces. Really love this. And then I had other cords in there. Now the rest of the gear I had in this Nylofoam bag to keep it nice and dry. I'd pack it down there, make a little snorkel on top, tuck it down. But on the top here, I had my hammock. It's from Dream Hammock. It's a Darien. This thing only weighs 12 ounces. It's 326 grams. It's a nice little ultralight hammock, and it was custom made by Matt from Dream Hammock, and I really appreciate it. This thing was nice and comfortable. We got a great hang up here near Mount Rushmore. Could be one of the ultimate hangs. Then I had my clothes, and my clothes I stored in this gear sling from Dream Hammock, and this would hang on my ridge line on my hammock, and it zips up on the top. On each end there's an opening with a toggle. I can close it and open, and I can access my clothing that way out of the hammock. So the clothing I brought in my gear sling, I brought a pillow, a down pillow. I also brought extra pair of socks, and these are darn tough socks. And the jacket I had is an alpaca hoodie, and this was really nice, kept me nice and warm. I could wear this at nighttime if it got cold on the trail, which I never used because I was always overheating. But when I got to camp, I'd put this on. I could put my raincoat on top of that, my rain jacket, to block the wind, and that would keep me nice and warm when it got really cold. I had some, these are pants, they're wind pants, and they weigh hardly anything, and this was really nice to have. When it gets really cold, if I got too wet, I can always put these on. I never wore them though. And also I brought a little alpaca hat, super lightweight, nice and warm. I had camp socks. These are possum down camp socks from Z-Pack. Kept my feet nice and toasty warm, and I needed them. And also I had long underwear bottom. These are merino wool that I'd sleep with. So these were my camp clothes that I slept with. And I put a little hat on there, and I'd wear this if it got really cold. And I stayed nice and toasty warm in my hammock. And then for my quilts, my under quilt was from Hammock Gear. It's a 40-degree Phoenix, 3/4 length, which only weighs 10 ounces, 291 grams. And then for my top quilt, I had a Phoenix Burrow, which was a 40-degree, and this only weighed 14 ounces, 418 grams. And again, the pack liner was a Naya foam, and this only weighs 11 grams. And I was really impressed with this. Usually I use trash compactor bag, but this is really nice because you can see through it to see what's in there. And it held up really nicely. I probably could use this many times. Really impressed with this. Now for the clothes I wore on this trip, on the outside, I had a wool t-shirt by Z-Pack. It's a merino wool with my logo on there. Ventures with the Marine. And then over that I had a Triple Crown button down, and this worked really well. It has a little hood on top. It kept me nice and dry when it rained. It dried off quickly, aired out, nice and cool, kept me warm. This is really a great little shirt. And then I brought some underwear, synthetic underwear by Andy's. The pants I had are Piranhas. They're the Zions, and they're stretch pants, very comfortable. These are my favorite hiking pants. I was gonna wear shorts, but I knew there was a lot of poison ivy. I'm very allergic to poison ivy, and so I didn't want to take a chance, so I wore these Zion pants. And for socks, I had darn tough socks, and these worked really great. No blisters across the creeks, they get wet. And then with the shoes I had the Ultra Lone Peak 8s. And you guys, I've never had shoes where the soles underneath here, where the rocks were slippery, it would grip it and I wouldn't slip whatsoever. I really love these soles. They're very comfortable. Great pair of shoes. I really like these. Dried out quickly when I crossed the stream. And then I had some Dirty Girls on to keep the brush from getting inside, or rocks or debris getting inside my shoes. And in my pocket, you guys, I had a little watch that I have a little baggie, a pill bag, that so it doesn't get wet. And I always like to bring a little pocket knife to have a handy in my pocket. So that's what I had in my pocket. And because I didn't use a waist belt, this is the first time I used a fanny pack. And this is from Light AF. It only weighs 2 ounces, 70 grams, and has a little mesh pocket on front where I can keep my camera, my cell phone, and the cell phone I use, or the camera, which is an iPhone 14, worked really great, Pro Max. And inside there's a little pocket you can zip open, and there I keep little snacks. I'd have my sunglasses, which are the ombres with side shields on. And last but not least is my tripod. This is an Ultrapod, and it has Velcro strap on there. And what I did, you guys, when I carried it, I strapped it to my hiking pole and I'd hike with it on there. And when I wanted to use it as a tripod, I'd hike it up and then strap it down on top, and I'd stick in the ground and I'd feel myself coming and going. And this worked really well. But I had to be careful because sometimes that tripod with the weight of the camera on it would fall over. Now you guys, this is the gear that I took with me. It was very effective. I was very comfortable even in those adverse conditions. There's a few things I would have not taken and things I would have added and still keep it under 10 pounds. I hope you found this episode to be helpful and insightful in different creative ways and pieces of gear to help lighten that pack load, to save that back, and also very comfortable at camp. And if you like this video, please hit that like button down below because it really does help this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below and that little bell icon on the right, and that'll notify you when the next episode's coming out. And if you have any questions or comments, please write them down below. I love to hear from you. This is the Marine. Thank you for watching, and God bless.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden